Hello amigos, Dr. Doug here at BodyTrust.com. Yesterday I received the first advanced copies of my book, Chinese Medicine for the Modern World, and here is one of them. Isn't it beautiful? Llewellyn Worldwide International sent me 3 of these beauties, and they're very clean, very beautiful, and by me, my first published book, officially published, understand. So, today, I'd like to talk about this book, tell you what it's for, and give you a little introduction about what's inside of it. So, it will come out February 8th. That's next month. And it is written for a mass audience. At first I wrote it as a textbook, and then my agent said, no, this is narrative nonfiction. This is for a mass audience. Hello? I said, yeah, you know what, you're right. So then my first editor helped me put it into non-narrative, take it out of that academic and put it into narrative nonfiction. So it's easy to read. It's easy reading. It's very clear type. Let me see if I can show that to you. It's very clear. All right, very clear to read. Well, I can't read it there, but very easy reading. And of course, that goes along with Chinese medicine because Chinese medicine is easy to understand, unlike Western medicine, emergency medicine, or whatever you want to call it, which takes years and years and years of study, and then continuing years and years of study, all the time study, in order to even understand the basics in your area of specialty, which is why they don't communicate with people very well, one reason. This, on the other hand, Chinese medicine is all worked out. It's mostly, the basic theory has been worked out over the course of 2,000 years, time-tested, theoretically, logically airtight. It explains everything because it connects everything. So Chinese medicine is wonderful, and of course I convey that in my book. I explain everything. I can explain what's going on in the modern world. And that, of course, helps tremendously when we're looking at healing, because the body heals itself, the body-mind heals itself. So the patient really has to be thoroughly involved in healing if it's to take place. If it's really to take place, that means the patient has to understand the language of the practitioners who that patient is working with. So it helps the healing process. And also it will lead Chinese medicine, as it reaches a broad worldwide audience, it will start to replace emergency medicine in the field of general health care, because emergency medicine really doesn't belong there. They belong on treating emergencies and practicing heroic medicine, but not treating everything else, which is most everything else. Everything chronic, most things chronic, and most minor things should be treated by holistic practitioners, preventative disciplines. There are many. Wellness coaching, of course, can consume all of them, or absume all of them. But Chinese medicine is what I'm pushing, and that's what my book, of course, is detailing. So we want to move those medical doctors into research and out of clinic and let all these holistic disciplines move right in, and that's the way with the future as I see it. That's a future trend that I forecast, because people are tired of taking drugs and surgery and not getting a cure. All they're doing is maintaining and managing their diseases and injuries. People want real answers. More and more people want more real answers, and so holistic. So this book provides it, believe me. So, and then third, a third object of this book is to reform Chinese medicine in the way it's taught and practiced in this country, in rich countries, because it came from China, and it just came over with kind of an emergency medical mindset of let's just treat the problems after they happen. There was not real focus on preventing, curing something. Just treat it and make people feel better after the fact. And of course, the other problem with the way Chinese medicine is taught and practiced in this country, in the United States, and I think in Europe, is that it's really treating Chinese farmers of 100 years ago. See, the theory came over to treat farmers living in poor countries and poor economies. Well, they have a completely different set of problems. That's why this is for the modern world. Chinese medicine for the modern world is for people like us that live in rich countries or rich sections of countries, income levels, who have all that emergency medicine and good hygiene and clean water and all that other stuff, all that good stuff of modern living. But we suffer from problems that we have created through our own choices, through our own unhealthy habits. So this book goes a long way towards helping people change those habits, change the unhealthy habits of worrying, hurrying, and overeating to healthy ones that help us grow. So it's really divided into 3 parts, Chinese medicine for the modern world. The first part tells you about basic language, basic theory. So you'll find a lot of this in standard textbooks on Chinese medicine that come over from China, or they're written by other people. But it's, of course, my own take on it. And that includes theories of yin and yang, 8 principles, 5 substances, 5 elements, and organ and channel theory. And once you have learned that, and of course I test you on it with quiz questions at the end of every chapter. Then we go on to part 2, which is I go over modern pathology. In other words, all the problems, the syndromes, as we call them, like liver qi stagnation, heart heat, spleen damp, wind invasion, exterior deficiency, qi and blood stagnation in the channels. Those, by the way, are the 6 major syndromes of modern society. And so I explain what they look like, what their roots are, what causes them, right? And then we get into part 3, how to treat it, what to do about it. And this is where I get into wellness coaching. And I'm introducing wellness coaching as a 3rd major arm. I know nobody has 3 arms, but of Chinese medicine. So you have acupuncture, herbology, right? Those are very classic. But before that, like 1,000 years ago, Chinese doctors were working with people on how to stop bad habits, which in a farming community aren't that many. But here, it's ubiquitous. And so that requires the 3rd arm, wellness coaching, where you actually spend a half hour or an hour with somebody while they got needles in them, or while you're doing shiatsu, or while you're doing Ayurvedic body work, or while you're doing yoga with them, whatever you're doing with them. And you're helping them unlearn those bad habits of worrying, hurrying, and overeating, and putting good habits, healthy habits in their place. So that is really basically wellness coaching. You help people heal themselves by changing their lives. So that's a big introduction to Chinese medicine. And practitioners of Chinese medicine are all licensed acupuncturists, most of them. And I'll tell you, acupuncture is going to be co-opted by other disciplines. It's inevitable. Physical therapists are already doing it. Chiropractors are already doing it. It's not going to remain in the purview of Chinese medicine for long. So what we have that's only ours is Chinese herbology, which nobody's going to learn unless they really learn Chinese theory. Herbologists have to know theory because they have to make a good diagnosis in order to put something on the inside of somebody, right? And so wellness coaching is going to blaze a trail here and in China. And of course, some people will love that. And some old stick in the muds will have problems with that. Anyway, onward and upward. So you can pre-order this book at Amazon or Barnes & Noble, or you can go to Llewellyn, Llewellyn, which is, by the way, the oldest publisher of holistic and New Age titles. It goes back 100 years, and they're the largest, and they really know what they're doing. So they weren't too nervous about supporting me, an unpublished author. They like me. And check with my events page on my website at GoBodyTrust.com for personal appearances, workshops, and presentations. Sign up for my newsletter while you're there. Okay, what comes out once a month. And follow me on YouTube. I have 2 shows, BodyTrust Mornings, which is Monday through Friday, every morning, and BodyTrust Weekly, which comes out weekly, usually on the weekend. So, that is all. That is all. Thanks for watching. Take care, amigos. Hasta la tarde.